Hey, I wanted to present to you a non-traditional strategies for generating income. I've been doing this on the EXP world, and it's getting very good reviews. So I wanted to, because I always like to help realtors out, and I want to let you know that we do coach and have coaching stuff. But I do stuff very non-traditional, and I want to go over some stuff that we do here. And so I thought I would shoot a video on it. So let's go over the course. First of all, I'm from Portsmouth, Ohio. Been in 35 years in real estate, 20 years as a realtor. Three other 20 years I've been with EXP Icon, 3 years in a row in Ohio, as long as they've been here. And I was number one in transactions for 2019 with 118 transactions. So my specialty is real estate listings and investments, all that. So let's go over the course overview real quick. Topic one is going to be about creating content. Why is it important? It's super important to create content. And where to do it? Blogger.com, absolutely free. You can start a blog there and get going. And then SEO about it. And then also the topic two will be about eye contact and newsletters, emails, and weekly. How you contact with your clients every single week. Why it's important. It's super important to do that. If they don't know you, if they don't know your story, if they don't know stuff, then they're not going to be able to do any business with you. And then topic three, if you're with EXP, KV Core blog. It's a great way to put content in that website because KV Core gives you a website, and you do and can get a lot of business from that, and I do. So, and I'll go through all that and the mailing and all that good stuff. So creating content, first of all, my blog is clevelandincomerealestate.com. If you ever want to look at it, it's got 3.6 million hits already. And I write blogs on a daily basis, every day. Why do I do that? Because I want to make sure that I'm updated on the real estate market. That forces me to look at the news and forces me to look at different scenarios. The way I do that, it keeps me updated. So blogs not only help with my story and what I do and my unique services, but also keeps me involved in real estate and what's going on with it, the marketplace. There's so many things you can write about. I'm going to give you a few ideas as we go. And make sure the reader can contact you on every blog you have. I see blogs out there that have no email, no phone number. KV Core lets you do a text. That's a great way to do it. Or you can do AWeber opt-in, where you collect their email. Very important to get that information because you never know when someone's going to call you. So what I do every day is I look at Google Real Estate News. It's the second one over. If you go into Google search engine, it's the second one over on the right, and you'll see news. That's a great way to look at stuff. Gives you ideas, and you can tie it down to your local area. If you live in Palm Springs or LA or some small town in Idaho, then Boise, you can do all that. You can look up real estate news Boise, Idaho, or just plain real estate news or investment real estate news or selling real estate news. There's all kinds of different news stuff you can look at. And that first page of those news is going to give you kind of an idea what people are actually looking at and what the hottest trends are at the time for that particular keyword that you're doing. And if you put real estate news, I mean, there's not many more than that if somebody wants to look at that. Then also, you can make videos. I make a lot of videos. I've got a $200 camera I purchased from Best Buy. It's a Canon SX 620 HS. So it's works for me fine. I've used it for years. I make millions of dollars on it. I take a lot of pictures. I take a lot of videos. I take a lot of stuff. So YouTube channels are free, guys. And you can post those in your blogs. You can post those wherever you want. You can take videos of walkthrough videos of houses that you're selling. I do that quite a bit. It doesn't have to be a professional to do that at a certain price range. I mean, if you're selling high end stuff, then yeah, absolutely, you want to get a professional in there. But if you're selling mid price to lower priced homes, all you need is this camera to walk through and think about what the house is in. Just like you write up a description, you put it in the video and get it out there. And make sure that you, if you're with KV Core, that you put the video in KV Core. And you can do that with the listings part of it, and you'll see that they're there. But the video does not transfer from the MLS in Ohio anyway. I don't know if it does anywhere else. And then you need to talk about your latest success stories. Tell your story. For example, I lease a lot of homes. I sell a lot of homes, and I talk about it. That gives me a ton of content. And people want to see that. That's the most read stuff that I have is my latest successes and my videos, all that. I shoot a lot of stuff and make sure that I get a lot of content and talk about, hey, what am I good at? Why should you hire me? Well, here's a reason. Here's a success. Here's something I sold. Here's something I leased. Here's something I purchased. Here's something, whatever you did there, it's a success. Or, I even have update videos that I send clients during rehab, before and after pictures. It's a great service and it keeps you in contact with the client. And when you're doing those videos, you not only put them on YouTube, you may want to do them directly to that client. And it's a great way to do it because I have a lot of international buyers that I send stuff to weekly. Newsletters. Wow, newsletters are good. Newsletters you should send out every week. And then 4 days later, your software should be able to go through the emails that did not open them first and resend it. I get 100 to 400 hits a week on these, and I get a lot of business. I just recently had one from a client that doesn't purchase from me right now, but had a house that they wanted to sell, and so they emailed me, and I'm getting that listing from but they wouldn't have known about it if I didn't have my email. Again, I'm telling my story. Hey, this is what I do. So they reached out to me, and I'm getting that listing. So I get a lot of listings from there. I also got a gentleman who's got 70 properties in his portfolio, and he wants me to sell all of them. So it can really turn out to be a giant situation that I didn't even know about I could even do. So I changed the subject line on the second time when I send out the newsletter. You don't want the same old subject line because they didn't open it the first time, so you wanted to change it. And then run your unique services in your newsletter. Always have when you go in a newspaper, they don't just have stories, they have advertisements, people that want stuff sold or whatever. Put that in your newsletter. I always have my flat fee listing. I always have my coaching. I always have my real investor course. All that isn't in there. And then in your newsletter, always have new videos. Do not keep running the same stuff. I mean, I see people do that. I mean, I don't know about you, but if they sent you the same newspaper daily, would you read it? I wouldn't. So put new videos in there. You can be creative. And as you do more and more, you'll get better and better at it. And then share all your media on social media. I mean, Blogger creates a link, and if they don't like Blogger, put it in your KV Core, and your website will create a link on the bottom there. So it's really important to share that all over the place: LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, wherever Instagram, wherever you do it, you need to do it. So they put that in there. There's my newsletter below if you want to check it out. It's nostressinvestment.com. I put that up every week, all different. You'll see every week, every Thursday, I put up a new one, and it's got to change. It's got to have a date on it. It's got to not look old. And let me tell you, it works. And I also send all those out to my opt-ins through eye contact. I put it in my blog, and I also put it in my KV Core to share with other people. And then I put it in, of course, in all the social medias. Very, very important. Very easy to do. So, and I've already went over this. So just make sure when you do put it in KV Core, make sure that you change the title, bit, and content, because Google will pick up on that and say, hey, this is the same stuff. They're just reposting it. You don't want to be lazy. Change it up a bit. For example, I put selling hundreds and hundreds of homes on the KV Core, and I changed the title up. But it's very important to be consistent. I mean, you really need to do this daily, at least 5 days a week. I do it 7, but if you want to start with 3 to 5 days a week, it's really important to do it. And then that creates your newsletter. So if you write a blog every day, you create a newsletter. So you take that blog and you put it on your newsletter. Easy, right? Because the Blogger actually has the HTML that you can or you can do the link like I do on mine. It's really, really super easy to do once you get doing it. But it'd be very important to be consistent with your content. Always have at least 3 to 5 new stories in your newsletter, and put in the video section in your newsletter. That's what I do, and you'll notice that with mine. So as you collect more and more videos, say one didn't get watched a lot a few months ago, you can repost it in there. It's just a great way to advertise. And I want to go over some of the unique services that I do. I lease a lot of real estate. People forget about that. I mean, if you get with property managers, they're not the best at that. If you look on Zillow, which I do a lot on the rentals, you'll notice that the stuff that is cheaper is always listed by the property managers, and the stuff that's more expensive is listed by realtors. So that's a great way to get business. So if you go into an investor and they say, well, I got a property management do it. Well, check Zillow, check it out. See if realtors aren't getting you more rent. I'll get you the top rents, and use the property management's credit stuff, have all that ready to go where you're at, and boom, you can get this done pretty quick. I can get stuff done in 24 hours. And I run open houses on MLS. I put it on the MLS. Make sure you put on the MLS too, because that's really the strength of being a realtor is the MLS, because it goes out to all the social media. Put in your blog. As you're setting up your marketing company, make sure you add it to that. Flat fee listing is a huge and great way to get into the market. Flat fee listing is very easy to do. So, for example, if you have a $350,000 average price area, that's a $10,500 listing, full price, 3%. If you're at 3%, I don't know what your area is. I'm just giving an example here, but make sure you can. My students are doing a $5,000 listings, flat fee, boom. Now, what does that do for them? Number one, it gets them the listing, because if you're going in with a seasoned person that's been in the area forever, and you're coming in and they're giving a full price listing and you're giving a flat fee listing, that basically there's no difference. I just don't do open houses, but I do everything else, pictures, I do the videos, signs, all that. I negotiate, take the phone calls. You got to make sure it's successful. You got to make sure it works for the client. I sell 95% of my listings. Why? It's important. You got to do it. And what will happen too, as you're doing the flat fee listings, when someone is selling a house, guess what? A lot of them need to buy another house after that. I just recently had one in Lyndhurst, Ohio. I sold in a couple days at over full price. Boom! They got another house in escrow already, because they needed a house. I had to get them out looking at a house. So you're talking, you were talking close to $550,000 worth of real estate on one deal, on one flat fee listing. It's very important that you do that. And then buy for investors. I buy for a lot of investors. That's residual income. But you need to learn your areas. You need to learn your rents. You need to know if they have their own contractors. You need to know budgets. It's really a little bit to do, but once you get it, it's a gold mine. I do about 60, 70 properties a year I buy for these guys, and I lease them. So basically, what does that do? The leasing real estate pops right back up there again. And what do the investors do when they want to sell? They're going to call me for my flat fee listing. I basically keep all of them in the mark, so I can always do that. And I do before and after pictures and update videos for them during the construction. It's just a good way to do full disclosure, keep them informed. And by the way, if you have appraisal issue, those before and after pictures work great to send to the appraiser. It really you save me on a few appraisals. So always keep all that in mind when you're doing that for these unique services. But if you have some other unique services that you do it. Make sure that you stand out. You don't want to just be a regular realtor that goes and buys houses and lists them for full price. 87%, I believe, of all realtors fail within their first 2 years. Why is that? Because they don't have unique services and they're not telling their story about if they do have them, they're not telling their story about the unique services. It's very important for you to tell the story of the unique services, because it will make it totally different from you. So, if you guys want to sign in below, I'm going to send you a video on how to set up blogger.com. Love to do that. And, again, as you're doing this, understand, because, I'll give you one quick story that I had on a deal. I remember when I was working for another brokerage and I just started out here in Ohio, because I've only been an agent here for 3 years and I'm already in the top 5%, guys. I mean, it's because I do unique services. But they called me and said, "Hey, look, there's a business show, and we don't have anybody to set the table. Can you go down there and do that?" Man, I'd do anything. And if I don't have business, I jumped in the car and went down, because you never know what's going to come of it. So as I was sitting at the table there, an older gentleman come up and said, "Hey, I have a networking group that needs a realtor. Do you want to come and talk?" And absolutely, why not? So as I went in there, I became a member of that. And there were so many influential people in that. I mean, that's made me a fortune. And being in that group has made me a lot of connections. It got me into more investors than I could ever imagine. So, there's always ways, but you've always got to be available, especially if you're not busy. If you're not busy, be available. And, there's always stuff out there that you haven't even thought about that you'll run into. So, two things. If you want to give me a call, 216-703-5740. And if you want to sign in below, I will get you a free video on how to set up a blogger.com account and how I do it. So that's it, guys. I appreciate it. And I will get this video too. Sign in below and we'll get this done. Thanks.